Good morning, good morning. Hello and welcome to the Essential Wellness Empowered Life series. My name is Aisha Harley, and we are so happy all of you are joining us today. I know all of you are spanning across the globe, and it is so awesome that we can all meet here live on the Zoom webinar and on Facebook. And hello if you're watching the recording. Our Essential Wellness community brings you monthly essential oil education with a deep dive into various health topics. And we also offer monthly essential oil educational calls. And we have a team website, which is essentialwellness.life, which has an incredible library of all of our resources. This is one of the many benefits from joining our awesome Essential Wellness community. And if you are new to our community, you can stay up to date by following Aisha Harley, myself on Facebook and or on Instagram, or any of these other ladies to stay up to date on all of our monthly events. So today, we are incredibly fortunate to have the wisdom, the expertise, and the experience of our three amazing presenters. Today's presentation is packed with valuable and very important information. So again, you're going to want to really pay attention to this one, take notes, and please then share this information with anybody in need. This really truly can be life-changing information that we're sharing today. And I am just so grateful that our community of doctors share so openly and freely all of their wisdom with us and their time. As you can see, Dr. Mica and Dr. Louise are actually in their clinics and taking a break to offer this webinar for us today. So thank you, ladies, so much. And to give each of you a proper introduction, we have with us today Dr. Josie Schmidt, who is a naturopathic physician. She is an aroma touch instructor and also a doTERRA Blue Diamond. She graduated from the National College of Naturopathic Medicine and has been practicing in Portland, Oregon since 2002. She has specialties in herbal medicine, homeopathy, nutrition, and detoxification. And most recently, she has traveled extensively teaching her passion for daily wellness, utilizing our most potent plant medicine, certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils. And we also have Dr. Louise Rose, who is also a naturopathic physician. She is a former chef, and might I add, I wouldn't say you're a former chef, she's still an amazing chef. She's also a neuroplastician, helping people get out of stuck neural grooves and stimulate new brain connections. Isn't that cool? She believes in the profound healing power of nature, particularly the therapeutic action of water, plants, and light. Working with patients at Rose Cabinet Medicine in Portland, Oregon, she helps people reconnect with their inner vitality, increase their energy, and become more emotionally resilient. She utilizes potent plant medicine in the form of essential oils with all of her patients and loves educating the public about how to bring essential oils into a daily wellness practice. And then we also have Dr. Mica Carew, who is also a naturopathic doctor and a practitioner of Chinese medicine. She is a licensed physician and an acupuncturist who brings her practice a love and knowledge of essential oils and Chinese and Western herbs, along with the teachings of her Native American ancestral lineage. At a young age, she was taught to still her mind and listen to the medicine of the plants. She uses that same stillness of mind to listen to the body rhythms of her patients. She is an author, and her first book, Plant Spirit Medicine, using an ancient ancestral meditation to connect with the medicine of plants. Living Grace Meditation was published in 2018. So there you have it. Wow, that was a lot all three of you bring. Thank you for being here, and I'm going to pass the presentation over to you.
Thank you so much, Aisha. Wow, yes. And we wanted to continue on with that a little bit and explain who we are as naturopaths, because we know that this degree is not as widely known to many people. So Louise Rose, you were going to give us some details about what our education entails and what our degree entails.
Sure. Thanks, Josie, and thanks, Aisha, for that beautiful introduction. We find that in Oregon, where naturopaths have been licensed for many years, there's still confusion. People still don't quite know what our training is and what our scope of practice is. So we thought it would be fun and informative to educate on that topic. So all three of us and everybody who goes to medical school has to pass their pre-med requirements before applying to medical school, and that's usually a 2-year commitment in undergraduate school. And then once in medical school, both MDs and NDs, medical doctors, naturopathic doctors, the first 2 years is very similar. There's a big focus on the biomedical sciences, clinical sciences, diagnostics, including things like anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, histology, pathology. The way I think about it is the first 2 years we were learning how the human body is supposed to work and what are all the things that can go wrong and how do we find out what's wrong. Naturopaths use the Western medical sciences as a foundation on which to build a thorough knowledge of holistic, non-toxic therapies and to develop skills in diagnosis, disease prevention, and wellness optimization. And that's an important philosophical difference, that our focus is really on prevention and optimizing what's going right in the body, allowing the body to heal. The 3rd and 4th years of our training distinguish naturopathic medical programs from allopathic medical schools in several ways. Much of the naturopathic curriculum is devoted to non-pharmacological, non-surgical approaches to managing patient conditions. In addition to the biomedical and clinical sciences, ND students are extensively trained in botanical medicine, herbal medicine, hydrotherapy, using water to heal, clinical nutrition, counseling, homeopathy, laboratory and clinical sciences, physical medicine, and minor surgery. In the United States, average approximately 150 hours of nutrition training and over 1,330 hours of clinical training. NDs really excel at preventative care, root cause medicine, and chronic disease care. There are currently 7 accredited schools with 8 different campus locations in the United States and Canada. And a degree from an accredited medical school is required for licensure or certification by a state. Currently, there are 20 states that offer licensure and certification for naturopathic doctors. So what a lot of people don't understand or don't realize is that in a state like Oregon, we pass boards and we're regulated by state governing boards that give us our scope of practice and that make sure we're practicing. We came from an accredited medical school. But in a state where there's no state licensure and there's no governing board, anybody can call themselves a naturopath, whether they did some online classes or went to, some seminar or basically didn't have the rigorous education that comes from a 4-year accredited school. So if you are living in Washington or Oregon, we've had licensure for a long time, and our scope of practice here is very similar to a primary care physician, but it varies state by state. So if you're not living in the West Coast or in Washington or Oregon, I encourage you to look up what your state naturopathic regulations are and make sure you're going to a naturopath who comes from an accredited school.
All right. Thank you, Louise. So what we want to cover today is we're going to go through what we consider the baseline. That is, as I've said, when we were all in school, we had a teacher, Dr. Tom, who would always teach us as naturopaths to always do what he called the basics. And this is similar. Within essential oils and doTERRA, the baseline is that starting place that almost every person and case, we as doctors, we would consider them cases, you would start here. So we're going to go over that. How do you do that safely? And we have some alternative protocols for people who need to go very slowly to work up to the baseline. Going over what we consider the foundations of health. And then we've broken down into 4 categories, 4 tendencies that we're starting with. What we're calling abcellular tendencies, inflammation and pain tendencies, metabolic cardiovascular tendencies, and neurological tendencies. And I just want to say that this seminar is about a 4-day seminar packed into an hour and a half. It's literally a compilation of all of our education. It's of our coming together, of a think tank, of our naturopathic training and our clinical experience. So buckle your seatbelts, and we are going to take you through a fairly advanced training. We consider this is not necessarily for the beginner coming into essential oils. This is for a wellness advocate. These are for health coaches, other practitioners, but you're not necessarily a practitioner, people who want to be working with other people and guiding them and having more specific protocols for more complicated states of being, right? Because in this world, that's what we are coming into contact with, is most people are fairly complicated in their states of health and unhealth or dis-ease. So, and we wanted to let you guys know that this is just this is a starting point. So please do stay tuned for ebooks and seminars in the future.
I would also add that when I talked about what differentiates naturopathic doctors from allopathic doctors, our focus is on optimizing wellness and allowing the body to heal. And I just want to say that's our focus here as well. If you think about the baseline, which we're going to go into here in a minute, that's really optimizing prevention and optimizing your body's wellness. And we're not in this webinar really talking about treating disease. We're talking about supporting the body so the body itself can do the healing. And of course, food is our first medicine. Like Aisha said, I was a chef for many years before I became a doctor, and personally have seen figuring out the right diet for myself and for my loved ones is really the main thing that has shifted our health. There's not one diet that fits all, but figuring out what the diet is for you is really important. And that can be trial and error. It can be working with a professional. But we do know there are some across the board recommendations, right? Eating lots of different vegetables and fruits from that span the rainbow eating. So we would really be doing you a disservice if we just came on this webinar and said, really all you need to do to be healthy is take these supplements and use these oils this way. I really believe, and I'm really proud to partner with doTERRA because their philosophy is very much the same. The foundation of our health is what we put in our food, in our mouth every day, are we sleeping? Are we managing our stress? What's our toxic load? Whether that's toxic relationships, toxic emotions, or toxins from the environment. Are we moving our bodies? All these things form the foundation of our health. And so we're not going to go into what that looks like here, but I just want you to know that we're not skipping this step. This is foundational step. And everything that we talk about going forward is assuming that you're addressing these major pieces of your health.
Yes. So another piece that is a huge part of the foundation is emotional aspects underlying disease. Mica, did you want to speak to
Yeah,
that?
I did. So, hi, good morning. Thank you all for all that great information already. Louise and Josie. I always learn so much from the two of them and a lot of the wellness advocates. So, two things is people often ask me what I do in the treatment room. And so I'm going to give you a little peek into, well, I'm here, and maybe if we have time, I'll take you into the treatment room and see how my oils are lined up, because people want to know that what exactly, how to set it up, and the reason why I set it up the way I do. But first of all, thank you, Aisha, for that beautiful introduction. Yeah, I started working with my grandmother, who was a medicine woman, at 9, maybe a little bit younger. And so I'm almost 53. And so that's been 44 years. And what I found, and what we found, and what I noticed consistently is that there was some kind of emotions that were deep in the body of the diseased person. They were out of ease, they were out of harmony emotionally, and you might not even know it. Some people don't even know that that's part of the symptom package. And so one of the things, or like the emotional aspects underlying illness, so one of the things that I use is this book. Oh, it's right here, Feelings, Buried Alive, Never Died, by Carol Truman. It's amazing. Get it? I didn't say this at the Eco Trust, but there's an app for it. So I don't use, well, I have the app, but I don't use it. It's just easier for me to carry this book around wherever I go. Dr. Louise.
What generation you are.
Yeah, right. Dr. Louise and Dr. Josie and I always start out our big think tank meetings with doing some clearings, whatever's up for us. And so I encourage you to check out the book, check out the app. We're going to actually do a clearing today, right now. And we picked out fear, because that was kind of underlying, especially now on the planet. There's a lot of fear circulating around in the consciousness, and it brings up the subconscious fear to the surface. So we chose the emotion fear to clear today. And we didn't ask you to grab your black spruce. It does not have to be black spruce. It could be melaleuca if you have melaleuca handy, or any oil.
Whatever oil you have handy.
Yeah, like I have clearing. Yeah.
We can give a shout out for black spruce. Is
yes.
Really wonderful for aiding in courage and working through states of fear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So where I'm reading this from is the book, but on page 95 is the actual clearing. It's a wonderful clearing. You can customize it to whatever words fit for you. So don't be swayed by the words if they don't truly fit for you. Just make up other words in the, you'll see when you read it. And then on the,
depending on your spiritual beliefs.
Yeah, depending on your spiritual beliefs. Thank you, Josie. And then there's on page 182, there's feelings in alphabetical order. So let's say you don't even know what feeling is underlying some discomfort in your body. That's okay. Just look through the list and see what one jumps up at you and use that one. Okay. And alongside of it is the antidote or the opposite of that word. Okay. So we're going to do that
They also
today.
have a list of diseases.
Yeah.
That with correlating feelings. So you could work backwards. You can work from physical disease to emotional, or you can go from the emotion to the physical. So that's
exactly how we actually found this when we looked at all the diseases or diseases or tendencies, and then we correlated it. And what came up the most was fear.
And inflammation is the big
Yeah.
correlation, right? Inflammation in the body is is one of the big physical correlations.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Let's do the clearing. Is everybody ready? Did you have your oil? I'm using Clary Calm because I have it right here. You're going to place it on your inner creases of your wrist. Rub, rub, rub. Hold it for a couple seconds. Breathe it in. All right, let's go. In the name of the divine spirit, super conscious, subconscious, conscious, higher self, heart, mind, will, nervous system, brain, original intelligence, RNA, DNA, and every genetic anomaly out of alignment with our pattern of perfection, please locate the origin of our conscious and subconscious destructive cellular memories, which cause the incorrect perceptions that created feelings, thoughts, beliefs of fear. Take each and every level, layer, area, and aspect of our being to these origins. Analyze and resolve them perfectly with the divine truth. Come forward through all generations of time and eternity, healing every event and its appendages based on the origins. Please do it according to the divine will until we at the present are filled with light and truth. Divine eminence, peace and love, benevolence, forgiveness of ourself, our imperfect perceptions, having compassion for every person, place, circumstance, and event which contributed to any of these destructive cellular memories, feelings, thoughts, or beliefs. With total forgiveness and unconditional love, we ask that our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual memory of perfection resonate throughout our being. Trust, confident. I choose being confident and trusting.
I choose being confident and trusting.
I feel confident and trusting.
I feel confident and trusting.
I am confident and trusting.
I am confident and trusting.
It is done. It is healed. It is accomplished now. Thank you all for coming to our aid and working together to help us rid our being of stress and attain the full measure of our creation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, all facets of our being, please put this scripting on automatic so it repeats itself throughout each and every cell and fiber of our being every half hour of every day for the next 180 days or however long is best for us, thereby restoring perfectly healthy frequencies throughout our being and returning us to our original purpose, power, and magnificence. And it is done. So before we move on, one of the things I want to say is, yes, my grandma and I would do clearings, when I was 9, and I haven't stopped. And what I want to say is, people are so hungry for this. They come in to my office. I have a huge waiting list, but you all have the power to do this yourselves now, right? So this is what they're coming in for. So they could see you for that. Use an oil and do a clearing. Yeah, that's what I want to say is we want to empower you in this today to have tools as wellness advocates to help a lot more people and have the courage and be brave to pull out the book, because I can tell you they are hungry for it. They're wanting it.
but how very powerful it is. Not everyone has a medicine woman grandmother to train them, right? And so with kind of your experience with all of your training, Dr. Mica, you're saying you are even still using this book, how powerful that clearing is. And you just want to endorse that and let people know that without the same training, they too, with an oil and with this, can move powerful, stuck states of patternage for people. Yeah. Yeah. So that's our message. It's incredible.
And I can tell you, I mean, I don't know, Carol Truman is Boyd Truman's mother, and this, because I've done clearings all my life, when I came upon this took years of seeing many people and customizing and understanding the energetics and how to spiritually help to move somebody out of a diseased pattern. So this too, I want to say to Carol, that this was a labor of love. I bet I'm gonna have to contact Boyd Truman, because you can tell. I mean, I haven't even read the whole book. I just turned to the clearing, but she'll explain the clearing.
All right. A huge tool for everyone to use in their toolbox, together with the power of the oils. This is a huge recommendation.
Yes.
And so as Dr. Louise has spoke about, the foundations of health with food and with lifestyle and movement. And now Dr. Mica's spoken about the addressing and working with the emotional aspects and the spiritual aspects underlying. We want to give a little shout out and a talk to bioindividuality, because, right, we're getting to it. This talk is called Protocols for Health. Okay, right? So we are focusing on the protocols of what to take, when, and how for different situations. So that's why we're kind of layering through this foundation. And so when we talk about bioindividuality, what we mean is basically that even though we're giving out general protocols, we mean that every person is still an individual, and that everyone is going to need to use a little bit of their own self-knowledge and intuition, and you have our full permission to adjust and change as is needed for you these protocols. You want to speak to that a little bit, Louise?
Sure. Just like there's no one diet that is perfect for everybody, that's true for oils and herbs as well. A really simple example of this that I think everybody can relate to is, we all know somebody who can have a cup of espresso after a really rich meal at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and then fall asleep, no problem, and sleep all night. Whereas we also know somebody, maybe ourselves or somebody else, who can't even have a cup of espresso at 10 o'clock in the morning without it jacking them up and disrupting their sleep that night. So that could just be a caffeine metabolism difference. And we are all, biochemical individuals, and we have all these different enzymes that need cofactors of vitamins and minerals to process, and we're not all made up of the exact same pieces. So we're not all going to react the same way, and that's okay. So like Josie said, we want to empower you to experiment with these protocols and not take them as dogma. And really the underlying message is, listen to your body. Start slow, listen to your body. Does that make sense?
Great. All right. So, and at the same time, these are protocols that we have come up with all of our clinical knowledge and our naturopathic knowledge, and we have used in clinical experiences, and they are powerful and effective. But know that they are complex protocols for complex states of health, okay? So you're probably, as you're going to be, if you are a wellness advocate or a health coach, you're going to be adjusting them and working with them for people, the people you work with. And that is great. And sometimes you're going to see these are active protocols, right? So when you're in an active protocol state, some of the dosages collectively of the things people are taking, even the essential oils, are going to be greater than what doTERRA's put out for the ideal daily amount. That ideal daily amount is the lowest, is a very low amount of what's safe for just wellness for everybody, the big bell curve. That's not an active protocol for a complex state of dis-ease and health, okay? So that's another thing to consider. And it's also then where we're gonna go into now our baseline protocol, why that is so very important. Because we want everyone to be able to, if they need to go into a protocol, because they're having a health condition, be able to go right into and move into that protocol and have the baseline already their baseline. So the baseline should be the very minimum wellness plan. And as you'll see, most people who are very healthy and vibrant, like the three of us, we have very complex health plans, and that's what keeps us healthy and vibrant. So we don't just do the baseline. But a lot of people, just getting them up to the baseline is an important step for wellness advocates and for health coaches. So this is probably one of the biggest things we want to say is if you just do that, that is incredible. And then people are ready to go into a protocol or ready to cleanse. So with that, let's move on to this baseline. So here is what we are calling the baseline. And it's basically to safely work up to the full dose of the Lifelong Vitality Pack. So you see those 3 supplements over on the side, vertically stacked. And that is the foundation of doTERRA's, of everything that the doTERRA works with. It's the #1 product. It's not an oil. It's their supplement pack of these 3. A whole food multivitamin and mineral complex, an incredible antioxidant complex, and a wonderful omega blend complex. And these 3 together bring in the nutrition that our body, that our cells need, that even when you're eating at the very top level, the 1%, you're still not getting because of what is diminished in our soils, in our food supply in today's world. And so when you bring together that foundation of nutrition together with the oils, this is where we like to say the magic happens. The oils don't have nutrition in them. They don't have cofactors. They don't have vitamins and minerals. That's not what they are. The oils are chemical messengers. They work beautifully, plugging right into our receptor sites and engaging our pathways. But let's be clear, they are not vitamins and minerals and nutrition. So really we need the 2 of them coming together for that optimal state of nutrition, of health. The other thing, the second thing, is Terrazyme. Terrazyme is a blend of pancreatic enzymes, and we call them digestive enzymes. This is, as we age, the enzymes in our metabolic processes, as well as our digestive enzymes, the enzymes that we use to digest food, both of these start to diminish. Our body does not make as much. So to bring in and help supplement that is incredibly helpful for both our digestion and all of our metabolic processes. So taking a Terrazyme 5 a day, 1 when you wake, 1 with each of the 3 meals, and 1 before bed. That is our suggestion with the baseline. And then starting to use citrus oils internally slowly. So working with citrus oils in water. We love the whole range of them. Here's a suggestion of lemon and tangerine. We also have grapefruit, lime, wild orange. We have more.
Green mandarin.
Green mandarin, thank you. And they're all very, very similar. They all have very similar constituencies. And so you can really interchange them. So that's why we just say citrus oil. And when you are doing this, citrus oils have incredible, I know, Louise, did you want to talk? I'll just do a basic and you can kind of fill in. they do everything in the body. They're like B vitamins in a sense. They're not B vitamins, but they plug in almost every pathway, the constituent limiting, delimiting. It is incredible when you start to look in PubMed and you look at studies about what delimiting, the main ingredient in all of the citrus oils, does. It's all over the place. It's just profound. It helps in almost so many cellular pathways. And so what we do know is it helps our mood, so our brain neurotransmitters and chemistry. It helps our liver with its gentle detoxification. It helps with the pH of our body. So just starting with 1 to 2 drops in the water that you drink, a water bottle of like 16 to 32 ounces is a wonderful place to start with the baseline. Did you want to add anything? Anyone?
Just that calling this the baseline makes it sound like, this is beginner's work or whatever. And it is where we want people to begin. But let me just tell you, just doing this can be very, very profound for people in terms of feeling better. So don't underestimate this simple protocol here. If you haven't tried it yourself, even if you're not dealing with complex health issues, start here and give it a month or two and see how you feel.
Right.
Well, I just want to say that this baseline could help to prevent complex issues. So do at least the baseline.
Yeah. And because it's so powerful, not many, but a portion of people have difficulty just starting with a full dose of the LLV. So we like to start people slowly on this. And there's like bioindividuality, there's all different types of chemistry. We're learning about that more and more with our gene technology and gene SNPs and how people have all these different alterations in their pathways. And that's what can, plus having a toxic load, both of those together can contribute to the fact that beginning someone on a full dose of the LLV can have them start with what I call too much, too soon, too fast. So what we like to teach is how to work up to the full dose of the LLV, because you don't want to have someone have a bad experience by giving them too much, too soon, too fast. You want to start them slowly and have their body get used to this powerful array of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and omega oils, and start to get those pathways rolling and kind of unclogged and going. So what we suggest is starting with a half dose of the LLV. So what that looks like, see that it's 3 different bottles, right? So that is 1 capsule of each supplement twice a day, so like AM and PM. And if after 2 weeks of them feeling fine, and so notice in the parentheses I have down there, what feeling fine means is that the most common symptoms you will see if you have gone too soon, too much, too soon, too fast with something like the LLV or any good supplement, you will see too much of a change in the bowel movements too fast. It could be either way, constipation or diarrhea, some stomach upset, the digestion being funky, burping, and then sometimes the energy will drop. Occasionally there'll be a headache and skin problems, eruptions. So if you have any of that happening, then you're in too much, you've gone too much, too soon, too fast, and you want to pull back. But if they are feeling fine after 2 weeks of half dose, you move up to a 3/4 dose, right? And then if after 2 weeks, did I mess this up? No. Yeah, and after 2 weeks, again, at the 3/4 dose, so you just go every 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the 3/4 dose, then move up to the full dose. So if someone doesn't feel good, if they're having symptoms at any of these junctures, but I have here, so if the half dose is too much initially even, then what you do is you move back to the 1/4 dose, right? So wherever, if you move back to the quarter dose, let's say you're at the half dose and they're feeling fine and you move up to the 3/4 dose and then they start to have some skin eruption, then what you're going to do is you're just going to move back down to the half dose again and stay there for a longer period of time, and maybe start to work with some other cleansing things, endocrine complex and the probiotics and the Terrazyme. But we're going to go over these and then one. So here's how you work up safely to the full dose of the LLV. And now here is our alternate protocol. So if someone, even on the quarter dose of the LLV, is having some digestive symptoms, some bowel problems, some skin eruptions, or they really can't do capsules, right? Taking capsules is a real challenge for them. Then here is where we work with the alternative protocol. So we start with the A to Z vitamins, which are wonderful vitamins. They're considered the children's, but we work with one of those twice a day. The liquid omega, I love this. Some of us need to take more omega than what is in the full dose of the LLV. I'm one of them. That is very helpful for my whole neurology, my nervous system, my cardiovascular system, my inflammation. So I take the full dose of the LLV plus a tablespoon of liquid omega in the morning, and I'll talk about that, and I put my essential oils in it. It's a great way to take your internal essential oils. But for this alternate protocol, we just say start with 1 teaspoon a day, and you could work up to 2 later on once they're tolerating the 1. Start with the Terrazyme and start with just 1. Again, so all of these, if someone's in the alternative protocol, you go really slowly. So you work up to 5 caps a day, but you start with just 1, see how they tolerate it. And then the PB Assist, this is again for the kids, but it's great because it's not a capsule. And so you can just take it, it's delicious, kind of like it's xylitol and stevia sweetened, but it's very sweet and yummy. So that's getting the probiotics in there, and then some citrus in the water. Optional, you could add in the new peppermint enteric coated peppermint capsules. That's going to start helping to get things down lower in the GI tract, in the large intestine, in a better state. Because presumably if they're on the alternative protocol, that things are disordered in the digestion. And so doing all of this together is, I have worked through many people who've not been able to tolerate even a quarter dose of the LLV. They've worked through this, and you say, how long? It really can range from 2 to 3 weeks to, I would say the average is 2 to 3 months. So I would kind of, if someone is not tolerating at the quarter dose, I would do this for at least 2 and even 3 months. And sometimes there's been people who've gone much longer, up to 6 months on the alternative protocol. But I will tell you, we have successfully then worked people from here to the LLV, going slowly with the quarter dose and moving up. So it really does work, and it really helps to reorder and get the digestive system on track.
I would just pipe in here and tell you a little bit about why somebody would be having a problem with something like this. It's sort of like you're adding all these good nutrients, and it's sort of like stirring the pot. So sometimes we can have reactions because we stir the pot and we don't have good elimination systems. So maybe we're upregulating our detoxification systems, but we don't have a good method to get them out of our body. So if you're having symptoms at the lower dose and you start with the alternative protocol, what I would recommend is upregulating some of your self-care around your organs of elimination. So making sure you're having a bowel movement every day, drinking enough water that you're flushing your kidneys and your bladder. Sweating is an amazing way to support your body's elimination, whether in a sauna or exercise or steam bath. Dry skin brushing moves your lymph and really helps support elimination. Getting good deep breaths can actually really support that. Castor oil packs are another wonderful supportive hydrotherapy technique that have been used by naturopaths for forever. And if you're not familiar with them, you can learn how to do them. I have a handout on my website, rosecabinetmedicine.com, where you can download that and read about how to do a castor oil pack. And that is really supportive for your digestion, your liver, and your lymph.
Walking, massage,
Rebounding.
Rebounding. Let's say the person, if they're on this alternative protocol, is not one to move. Just, I've told patients, then walk in place in your kitchen, just start with 5 minutes, then go to 10 and stay at 10 for a couple days. And if you feel like it, then go further, get things moving, get your lymph moving. So you can, customize it to the patient or your friend.
Yes.
Yeah. Walk in place.
And I didn't mention, but it's written here, right? The oils on the bottom of the feet. So getting this person with their body gently used to the citrus oils in the water, a little bit of internal oils, starting to clear and cleanse and detox the body. And then some oils on the bottom of the feet, and Zendocrine and lavender are the two suggested here for a beginning place. Zendocrine is for helping all the emunctories and the pathways of elimination for detoxification, and lavender for everything and calming. Those are all going to really help. And I do want to do a shout out that we have heard that the Zendocrine complex, the herbal complex, the capsules, is back in November.
Yay!
How excited we are, everyone. We're very excited. We love Zendocrine complex. This is the most gentle, effective complex for moving and aiding and supporting all the pathways of elimination. So I always love to take 1 to 2 Terrazymes and at least 2 Zendocrines before bed. Why? Because I have a fantastic BM in the morning. How about you guys? I know Mica takes, right. So if BMs are the issue, then Zendocrine complex should be here. We haven't had it for a while, so it wasn't here, but it's coming back. So again, start slowly with just 1. But if constipation is an issue, 1 Terrazyme and 1 Zendocrine before bed, and see how, and work your way up. Okay.
You know what, Dr. Louise, is, about the stirring the pot. I just had another analogy of when you're decluttering your closet or decluttering your house. And then you're putting all that stuff in the bags, right? But there's still dust. And then you have the bags at the, in front of the house, or not in front of the house, but in front of the door to take to Goodwill or however you're going to donate it. And you can't walk past them. You've got to get them out the door. And
use that energy, and you need to get it out the door.
Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And if you start the whole day and you try and clean out your whole closet and do this whole thing and you haven't eaten anything, that's not going to work either. You're going to run out of energy, right? You're not going to be able to clean out the closet.
Yeah. Good one.
I love that enough. Okay, great. Let's move on. So we're going through all of our kind of all the baseline, all the things we want to make sure that we cover and tell you about that are included in these protocols.
Yes. And so this is the other thing that this is my beautiful patient. She was so excited to be the model for this. I was actually treating her, and then I said, can I take a picture of your back? The reason why those oils, I didn't make that design. It's just how they started.
It's just 3 drops and the drops oozed.
Yeah, exactly. So I use the Clearing and the Symphony of the Cells book here by Boyd Truman. I love this book. The patients love this book. And what it is it has different protocols, oils that you place on the back based on their symptoms. So there's digestive. If somebody has digestive issues, you just take the oils, put them on the back one at a time, and then move on quickly. So there's a hormone balance. There's so many. I highly recommend getting this book now, what one of my team members was saying, that there's something even easier to look at. If you go to Boyd Truman's site, you can check out all the Symphony of the Cells props and things to use. So but that's what I use, is the Symphony of the Cells. And after I finish the Symphony of the Cells, I put a towel or a pillowcase over them to let those oils set in. And as I'm doing that, we do a feelings buried alive clearing. So now you too can do exactly what I do in the treatment room.
Woo!
Anything to say about?
I'm just going to synopsize. So Symphony of the Cells is a very simple general treatment of 8 to 9 oils rubbed up from the base to the neck of the spine, and then on the feet, and smelling. And it takes about 8 to 10 minutes. And in that book, there's 18 different protocols that you can learn. There's 2 new beginner ones that are a little easier. So that's nice. You can start there. And Louise and Mica integrated this seamlessly, and almost every patient into their clinics. And so they do it along with all the other stuff that they do. And it's just this incredible, and you guys always say, like, every patient, like, you love it so much. It's been huge in terms of outcomes.
Oh, outcomes. It's huge. It makes a huge shift. So here I'm in now my treatment room. Let's see if I can do this. Can you see how I've lined up the oils, you guys? Is that helpful? If it's not helpful,
just a little more. Yeah. Okay. We see a little bit of the lineups.
Okay. So I have hormone, respiratory, infectious, neurological. And, you know, I know that people can make really fancy. I just got these little silver holders because it works for me in that way. And there's oils that you use, numerous oils that are the same in each protocol. But what I did for simplicity is I still have that protocol with the oil in it. And then the next protocol, let's say it's like Arbor Vitae in the infectious disease. Even if the next protocol has Arbor Vitae in it, I use another bottle of Arbor Vitae because I don't want to get it all confused and mixed when I'm treating people. So maybe we can talk about that at our...
Yeah, we'll talk about the end. So we're teaching a social in Portland, and we'd love to encourage other communities to do this. And the idea is that whether you're a health coach or massage therapist or a wellness advocate or just a householder, this is for you. This is where, with using oils, having that at home and empowering you to be able to do these treatments with your family at home or with other people as a wellness advocate. So it's simple and so very effective. Okay. So here we are, finally. We are coming to the first of our 4 protocols. And our first one is the tendency for working with abnormal cells. So we are calling this abcellular. Louise, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Just from a naturopathic perspective, one of the tenets of our philosophy is that we believe in the healing power of nature and the wisdom of the body. And so when we think about abnormal cells, what that means is that we're not just passive creatures that things happen to. Our bodies are constantly in a dynamic response to our environment. And so, for instance, we're all exposed to all sorts of toxins throughout our life, especially in this modern day. And sometimes our cells can be damaged from that exposure. And our body has a beautiful mechanism. Our immune cells are constantly patrolling around looking for damaged cells. And then there's a mechanism to identify them and then help them die in a healthy way.
Apoptosis.
Apoptosis, exactly. And so our body is constantly in this dynamic dance. And so when we are talking about optimizing wellness, we're not talking about, well, what we're talking about is we're talking about helping the body with all its different ways that it can help these cells that are supposed to die, and help the immune system be more vigilant in a healthy way. And Mica's going to talk a little bit about how abnormal cells behave in the body. But basically, we have this vital force, and our body has wisdom. And so these oils are in such a perfect partnership to our healthy cells, and our bodies have been co-evolving with plants forever and ever, and so our bodies recognize the plant material and respond really readily and rapidly. I'm so glad we have these oils as tools.
And so I wanted to say, within our teams and doTERRA, between Essential Wellness and Visionary Leaders, I get messages almost every week about people working with abnormal cells and asking for protocols. And so we really want to put this out as a comprehensive general protocol to help with cellular repair and health during prevention, during situations of abnormal cells, and even after treatment, conventional treatment. And so this is kind of our baseline that you would kind of then, you could start with and then customize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we also know that there are all sorts of different ways that this tendency can look in different people, and there are different hormonally responsive conditions and this and that. We've done our best to create a really optimal protocol that would be good for everybody, but please understand that everybody's an individual, and you might want to work with your own doctor to decide if it's right for you.
So let's back up just a second, because I want to say, Dr. Louise, you talked about increasing our vital force and how we want to make sure that our body is functioning in the best way possible. Oh, I'm paraphrasing, but and so I want to go back to the baseline, the first baseline, Dr. Tom's baseline, and what that does with the LLV and the Terrazyme and the citrus oils is that it helps our bodies break down and flush out those abnormal cells. Mm-hmm. So that's another reason why it's so important to have just the baseline going. So it supports you in flushing out, so you don't have any abnormal cells roaming around. Okay.
Right, 'cause we all do.
Yeah,
but
we do.
We talked about that idea that this is, even from when we're young, mm-hmm. our cells mutate and we have some issues with them, and then the normal state is we have enough antioxidants within our body and our system, and that's their job, to work with them and help flush them out and get rid of them correctly.
Mm-hmm. It's called metabolism.
Right.
Right.
When there's an accumulation and we don't have enough defenses, that the problem starts to happen.
Yes.
Okay.
So let me tell you what happens when there's an abcellular or abcellular situation, tendency. And then the reason why I know a lot about this is because my family has that tendency, and my extended family has that tendency. And I started working with my beloved teacher, Dr. Carew. And he taught me from a Chinese medicine perspective and theory about abcellular tendencies and how to treat them. So when we get to the formula, I'll call it essential oil formula, it's based on the years of studying with Dr. Carew, he used herbs, and I used the theory and then used it with essential oils. But what happens with the cellular cell is that it likes to survive. That's the whole idea, is it wants to survive and proliferate. How it does that is the cell forms a dome, a hard shell, like an eggshell over the cell. It's like its protective shell. And what it does, why it does that, is so that your immune system cannot dissolve it or break it down. Isn't that interesting? So and then the other thing that it does is it creates its own highway system of blood flow and nutritional flow to it. And what we get our nutritional blood flow. We want our blood flow to flow to our heart and to our brain and to our normal cells. And here this thing is, it's creating its own highway system. Okay, let's move on to the next slide.
And we have some good tools.
Yes, we do.
Right.
95% cancers are not genetic in nature. It's estimated that 95% of all cancers result from damaged DNA. We need cellular protection every day. I love this slide. Essential oils can help your body to protect against damage to the DNA. Dr. Hill.
Yeah. Chief Medical Officer of doTERRA.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the beginning of our Cellular protocol. Each of the protocols, we will go through the supplements, then we will go through the internal essential oil regime, and then topical and diffusing and symphony of the cells regimes.
So this is where you want to get your, just take notes or take screenshots, because there's a lot of information here that you're going to want to be able to refer back to.
Right. So basically, everyone, you'll notice when we start with the supplements, the first thing is the baseline. So that's assumed there's that. And then this is on top of that. DDR prime, 1 to 2 capsules twice a day. And you could go more. So, but there's all kind of room for customizing in this protocol. Deep Blue, with all of these, you could go higher. Deep Blue polyphenol complex, 1 capsule twice a day. Turmeric duo cap, 1 capsule twice a day.
And if this is a tendency in your family, in your lineage, this could be a great preventative protocol too.
Yes.
Don't wait until you're sick to start taking care of these things.
Thank you, Louise. And so this is my protocol. You'll see in the protocol section, I do this. I act as if, so I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to do a shout out for DDR prime. DDR stands for DNA damage and repair. They actually, many years ago, did a study on the oil blend itself, DDR, and they were looking at tumor cells that were blocking the immune system with that hard cap. Mm-hmm. And the DDR blend stopped the tumor cells from blocking the immune response. So they got through, and it's dissolved the hard cap, and the immune system was able to get into the damaged cells, and the DDR inhibited or stopped angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is that highway blood supply that the cells will build to feed itself for the nutrition. So not only did it worked against the hard capsulation that keeps the immune system from working against the cell, it actually stopped the blood flow supply that it was creating.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
So powerful.
And then here's just a breakdown of the DDR formula and the different herbs as essential oils in it, and kind of, it was very well studied, some of the reasoning why they chose some of the different oils for different purposes, but there was a lot of crossover as well. And
So
This is a
Mica,
beautiful, yeah, this is the formula that I made based on the theory of studying with Dr. Carew. And so the frankincense and is the one that is 40 drops frankincense. And that's the one of the things that dissolves the hard shell. The myrrh, they're copaiba and sandalwood, 20 drops of myrrh, 20 drops of copaiba, 15 drops of sandalwood, and 5 drops of lavender. All that helps to stop the highway system, the blood flow to the cellular. And now how I use this is I have my 2-ounce bottle of this combination on my bathroom counter. So when I get out of the shower is when I rub my body with this formula.
And it smells amazing too. It's delicious.
smells amazing. And can you see how this is incredible for skin health, for helping to heal any, along with Immortelle, wonderful for any scars and skin that needs to heal. And we always support a lymph blend and doing some kind of, I have one that I'm going to show later on, but this is an incredible lymph blend to do, right? If there's a tendency with breast abnormal cell growth, that you could use this as your lymph blend, right, Mica?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, what I do is I alternate it. One day I'll do the Cellular blend, and the next day I'll do the lymph blend or the beautiful blend.
Yep. Okay.
That's so easy.
Right? Now, yeah. I alternate around.
Yeah.
And what we mean by the lymph blend is just doing something where you are carrier oil and essential oils and applying it in 3 very, very soft strokes down and over with each of the armpits. And then you can do a little bit of also breast massage, checking out for things. I always do that, and it's really helping with the lymph flow in this area. You can also do the groin area if you like. Excuse me. And I do that before I put my deodorant on. And so the deodorant is then on top, and it works incredible, the two together. Okay.
I think we better keep going here.
Okay.
This is a beautiful internal blend that we have developed sort of over the last few months, and really excited to add celery seed to it when it was released this last fall. And the idea here is where you see the slash, it means that you can alternate. You could do 2 drops sandalwood for a couple weeks and then alternate with patchouli for a couple weeks, or a month at a time. What I like to teach with protocols is we want to give our body enough time to really get the message, and then change it a little bit, because once it gets the message, sometimes it starts tuning it out. But stick with it long enough to really let the body get the message. We also recognize that that's a lot of oils that might not fit in the regular doTERRA gel cap size. And they do have, doTERRA doesn't, but you can buy a bigger gel cap that's a double O, an aught size, and that is big enough to fit all these. Or like Josie does, you can pour your oils in a tablespoon and then fill it up with the IQ Omega and take it that way. Or you could divide it into 2 caps, or you could, just take 8 drops of oil and work with that too.
Great.
Yeah.
In so many instances, right? It's over time with these protocols, alternating and not doing the same thing every single day becomes something that you intuitively hopefully come to, but we want to give you that message as well. So, okay.
This is, remember when I said food is our first medicine? So one of my passions is really making food be not just delicious, but cells. So the entire recipe didn't quite fit on the slide, but all you're missing is it's a salad dressing recipe. So take a screenshot of this and try it out and let me know how you like it.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And then the Symphony of the Cells. So you'll notice in the book, there's the different names. Maxim is the name that Boyd Truman gives in Symphony of the Cells for abnormal cellular stuff. So that's the specific one. And then always bringing in lymph to alternate with that is a wonderful idea, or the digestive protocol, if that's called for. And there's also a cellular and a cellular 2. Those would be recommended as well. Okay. So let's move on to our second category and protocol, inflammation and pain tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we start with the baseline, and then we are focusing on the deep blue polyphenol complex, 1 to 2 twice a day, and the turmeric duo. We are so excited about the turmeric duo, which is the curcuminoids plus the turmeric essential oil together, making those curcuminoids 11 times more bioavailable for our body. That's so exciting. So focusing on those two in addition to the baseline. And then coming up with this as the inflammation pain internal dose. And you guys, this is delicious, first of all. So this is a very yummy tea. I've done this a lot as a tea. I've done it also with the IQ Omega. And I don't know if there's anything else you want to say.
I would just say, some people ask me, is it better to take the Copaiba gel cap or just take the oil under the tongue? And since the inflammation pain tendency is something I'm very familiar with, I have found from my personal experience that when I take the Copaiba under my tongue, I get better pain relief. And I think that my feeling is that when you take it in the gel cap, it has to go through the digestive system, and it might have great systemic support for your liver and other ways that it's useful in the body. But if you want fast, effective help with pain, I recommend taking it like this or under your tongue directly.
Right. That's why. So we chose it rather than the gel cap. We chose it here for under the tongue. You could definitely additionally add the gel cap in for the more systemic immune system support and nervous system support and pain pathways, but not as like immediate. Okay.
This is such a yummy combination Josie formulated a while ago.
Yeah. So in a 15 ml bottle, Copaiba, frankincense, Siberian fir, turmeric, pink pepper, and then fill the rest up with magnolia. I love to give the shout out to magnolia. Pretty much has about double the amount of linalool that's in lavender, and that's the ingredient or constituent that is the whole kind of all things calming and nervous system calming in lavender. So magnolia is incredible for that. And I like to have something that is not minty sometimes, right? For pain relief, because sometimes you want to be putting on it and this smells really wonderful. And you can always then put deep blue or aroma touch on top to bring the mint or peppermint or wintergreen, on top to bring the mint in when you choose. So that's what that formula is about. And then we have another one that Louise has worked with.
So this is another beautiful, both of these were formulated by Mica when we were working together one day and my pain was up, and she said, well, let's figure out what you need right now. And so I had an opportunity to trial both of these formulas, and they're really wonderful and effective. I just love aroma touch. And now we also know that Copaiba acts as an amplifier for other oils. So when we use Copaiba with other oils, it actually helps the other oils work better. Marjoram is one of my favorite unsung heroes, especially for sore, tired, achy muscles. And then the ginger is really nice and warm and circulating. So the kind of pain and inflammation that I experience is kind of a cold, stagnant one. And the picture here shows that you might have kind of pain and inflammation tendencies that are more hot and irritated, in which case you might use the blend from the previous slide. This is more for the cold, needing more circulation kind of protocol. But wonderful, very effective, love them.
Yeah. And that's a good thing to then think about if you are working with people and asking them if they're having inflammation and pain, do they tend to feel hot a lot of the time, or do they, with that pain stuff, do they feel cold in their body, in their joints? And so things like ginger, I don't think we have any with cinnamon. Ginger's more warming and the mints are more cooling. Yeah. Okay.
Another recipe from my recipe brain. I just love all these warming oils, and so I thought, well, what would it take to put together a formula? So make this in a big bottle, and that's really a 5 ml bottle. So a whole bottle of black pepper, a whole bottle of cardamom, and then you're going to blend your master mix, and then you're just going to use 3 to 5 drops in each. And it's just wonderful, full of antioxidants, delicious and supportive of your circulation and healthy body.
Woo! Such a great recipe. Thank you, Louise. Yeah. And then we recommend with the Symphony of the Cells, of course, the inflammatory symphony, and to know that Qi is the inflammatory too, basically. With the newer oils that came out, he then developed a second inflammatory protocol and called it Qi. Also, the infectious disease protocol can be very good, and alternating in with the lymph. All right, let's move to metabolic cardiovascular tendencies. This is pretty huge, right, for a lot of the world. Along with the baseline, the focus when we're working with metabolic and cardio is going to be working with the digestive system and the energy and the cardiovascular system. So we suggest adding in 2 Mitomax a day, and usually one with breakfast and one with lunch. Sometimes doing it later on in the evening, a Mitomax could be too stimulating. And then starting in with 1 PB assist. We want to start getting and helping and working with the digestion. Okay, I'm going to talk about this for a second. I love these two, Yarrow Pom and Slim and Sassy. And our recommendation is 2 drops of Yarrow Pom twice a day, AM and PM. And then 5 drops of Slim and Sassy 4 to 5 times a day. And this is definitely a situation where you want to work up slowly. So I have the phrase that I love, slow and steady wins the race, right? So start with 1 drop of Yarrow Pom in the morning. And then you can work up to 2 drops and then work up to the evening dose. And with the Slim and Sassy throughout the day, again, average dose is 2 to 3 drops, 2 to 3 times a day. And so it takes usually people about 3 to 5 days to work up to this higher dose of the Slim and Sassy. And sometimes the first time you have someone taste Slim and Sassy, just put a little bit on their thumb and bring it to the roof of their mouth. Otherwise, I have people look in the mirror and drop it in their mouth and only take about 1 or 2 drops from there and then work up. But these are very powerful in helping to support and work with our entire digestive process, our entire cardiovascular process, our cholesterol, there are detoxification. We've just seen immense amounts of things happen, and shifts change and move with this. What we wanted to do is give people the long term, because usually with metabolic and cardiovascular issues, this is long term. And so we'd sort of say, start out with your baseline, getting comfortable, and like 1 drop of the Yaropalm and a couple of drops of the Slim and Sassy, and with the Mitomax and the PB Assist. And then after you're all steady and working with that for up at the full doses at 6 months, then you would give it a break and alternate in the inflammatory protocol for a month or 2, and then move back in Yaropalm or Slim and Sassy. Kind of define how long to do those alternation periods. Yaropalm, we just want to give a shout out that this is a powerful yarrow herb that really helps bring up things from the subconscious and emotions and feelings. And so that's part of its process with the heart. And people should be ready to be dealing with their deeper set issues, the things that they have had maybe in the back corner. And we have some diffusing that we really recommend that people do that really helps clear and clean as these emotions are coming up. Anything else anyone want?
Well, you could use, when we were at the Eco Trust, we were talking about Litsea, but then someone said, what is Litsea? Because that's not something that's always available.
Yeah.
So then we talked about Melaleuca, lemon eucalyptus, lemongrass.
Lemongrass. Yeah, we have a slide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. For diffusing. But yeah, those are the ones we recommend. But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I would just say, Josie's giving cautions, but I don't want you to be worried about it. It's really a wonderful way to support your metabolism. And so many people that I work with have not had any problem with it, but it is something to be aware of, that if, again, it's like if your drain is clogged, either metabolically or emotionally, you're going to want to support yourself emotionally so that you can allow those things to move through and just transform.
Yeah.
It's beautiful medicine. It's an amazing, amazing bottle.
And then we also wanted to add in, because we love these 2 tea blends and they're so great for hormone support and blood sugar support, is cassia and fennel. Delicious,
so
delicious. And lang lang and black pepper.
Mm-hmm. So good. Yeah. Yay.
And this is a lang lang lemonade, pink pepper instead of black pepper. It'd probably be great with black pepper too, but really easy to make up for yourself.
Delicious.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I already spoke about the lymph blend, and probably the easiest lymph blend is to use Claricalm and the doTERRA body mist together. And I've been doing this recently a lot. And Claricalm is it's the most powerful blend to help with our hormone balance. And what I like to do is I just rub it on my fingers here, and then I take the body mist and I do 2 squirts. I rub it together, and then I just do my lymph. Incredible support. And then I also do Claricalm in a circle around my belly button, rub it in with my wrists, and I'll do it in the back of my neck and behind my ears. I do this daily. And I am working in to menopause with, my estrogen is very, very low. But what's interesting is when I did hormone testing, my progesterone is in like the total normal range for a 25-year-old woman. And so I really believe that all of the oils and everything I've been doing, but that my daily use of Claricalm is very much helping to support my progesterone.
And basically your hormonal stability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Castor oil packs here are really important too. It really helps support the liver. Liver is where we process all of our lipids, our cholesterol, our hormones. Very important that the liver is optimized for these things.
Yes, the castor oil packs. And then I would also say Zendecrine on the bottom of the feet.
Mhm.
I love using Zendecrine oil on the bottoms of the feet to help with all of the detoxification pathways and everything that especially the metabolic cardio tendency is working with. And then working into a cleanse yearly or twice a year, biannually. And you're already halfway there with the baseline. And so we have a cleanse that is always up on Essential Wellness, our .life, our website, and it is there, and you can see it under Healthy You, and we have videos and we have memes, and you can go and do a cleanse and see all the products and be guided through that anytime. It's there, living, waiting for you and your customers and clients. And we are going to have a live Visionary Leaders, our bigger team, along with Essential Wellness, a live cleanse coming up this January 11th. It's going to be a month, a 30-day cleanse, January 11th to February 11th. So please join us. Come onto the pages. We're going to be having announcements and on both Essential Wellness and Visionary Leaders. And yeah, and come join us and bring all of your people, because it's the perfect time to do a communal group powerful cleanse. Okay, so here we have, while you're going through this, the very clearing essential oils, herbs, Litsea, lemongrass, lemon eucalyptus, melaleuca. You can add these in with other oils, but make sure you're working with some of these as you are working with the Aeropalm. And let's go to our last tendency, neurological tendencies. So this is a more, a little bit of a bigger baseline of supplements, but I'm not going to say the baseline, but a bigger
complement
of supplements. And, you know, when you're dealing with deeper neurological tendencies, these and even autoimmune conditions can fall into this category, and some of the things that are happening with decline with the central nervous system, with the brain. These are chronic, these can be chronic states. And so what we're looking for is to support the system as best we can with where the person is working with. And so think of this as kind of an ongoing situation most of the time. And so we have the baseline, and then we are suggesting IQ Omega 1 teaspoon twice a day, and then working with the deep blue polyphenol complex, the turmeric, bringing in the probiotic daily, and then the new adaptive capsule. This is a wonderful, wonderful addition of doTERRA's, and we are seeing it being incredibly helpful in all kinds of neurological conditions and mental emotional conditions, which that'll be our next tendency in an ebook. But do you want to add anything, Louise, about adaptive?
Oh my gosh, I am so in love with this. I keep buying it, and I keep prescribing it to my patients and giving away samples, and it just flies out of my clinic like this. It really is beneficial for all of us because it helps support a healthy stress response. And we know that chronic stress is really at the root of all chronic disease. But specifically, it's really helpful for the brain. It helps with new brain neuronal connections. It helps with BDNF, which is brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which you think of as miracle grow for the brain. So learning, processing, and then it's very calming. So we don't have those spikes of adrenaline, spikes of cortisol, which are so damaging to our nervous system. Love this stuff. And the oil itself is amazing too. So there's the supplements, and then the roll-on, and then the undiluted form you can use in your diffuser. And there's research to support how effective it is for stress management. So love it.
Woo. Okay. Do you guys want to speak about the internal protocol?
I don't think we need to say too much about it. People can take a photo of it. And again, you could use it in a capsule, add it to your IQ Omega, put it in tea. We also love just the way the pink pepper and green mandarin taste in bubbly water. So you might take that out of your capsule and drink that in your water, give and take. The helichrysum is a beautiful addition that I use for any of my patients with any sort of traumatic brain injury. So it's very healing for trauma.
Yeah.
Oh, Mica, you have an experience with this with your patient, don't you?
Yeah, I have a couple patients. One was 86 or is an 86-year-old male. He was rear-ended, and from that it kind of brought up some other trauma. Oh, he didn't know about it, but he had an internal tremor. Like he kept on saying, "I have an internal tremor," and it just doesn't go away. So I prescribed this internal protocol. And he takes it twice a day, morning and the afternoon, and he's tremor free. He does have to continue to take it because what we know, as Louise said, is that turmeric is one that it helps with regeneration. So from that point of view, it sounds like he had a lot of degeneration of the neuronal pathways, the neurons, and so this isn't just supporting the decrease of the tremor, but I believe that it's helping to regenerate neuronal pathways and neurons. And then the next one is a patient, she's 65. They thought she had a disorder that it couldn't really be diagnosed. It was just a tremor on her left arm, and it was progressively getting worse. And I put her on the same protocol. I see her every 6 weeks, and she's been taking this for 2 to 3 months, and her tremor is basically gone. She can write with that hand. So this is powerful medicine, really powerful.
And Louise, you see incredible results too with traumatic brain injuries.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Mica, so an 86-year-old, we're taught that young and old, you got to be really careful and only give them like a couple drops of oil. He's taking this many drops twice a day, and it's completely helping him and not hurting him. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice to hear. Right. So the oils at protocol level dosages can be appropriate for older people too, and probably not just too. Like that's who. Yeah.
Probably the most important population that should be taking this protocol.
Right. Okay. The symphonies. There's a neurological symphony of the cells. Sensory is one that we look at for kind of spectrum. And so that's very neurologically oriented spectrum issues in people. The Maxim, the Chi, remember, is neurological, inflammatory, but it's wonderful too here. And Amobic stands for emotional and limbic. So we're a lot of brain and stuff going on. So those are all really, really good symphony protocols. And then topically, we have so many oils that are helpful. We love Immortel, so we didn't want to totally recreate the wheel. That in and out of itself is just wonderful for the brain and for or neurology. Frankincense, or I would say frankincense and patchouli is very powerful to use together. Those are both in tune. The adaptive touch blend, to be using that topically, incredible. And also looking at magnolia, copaiba, turmeric, and frankincense, that combination.
Uh-oh, do you have some on guard there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything you guys have to say about that?
No, let's keep moving.
Oh, I would just say here with using oils aromatically for your brain, we know that really the fastest way into the brain is through the nose. So I think of having the diffuser going and aromatic use as just like foundational for all these conditions, but especially if you have a loved one or somebody you're working with who's elderly and might not be able to keep up with taking oils internally several times a day or supplements. Really, you can have profound effect on their brain with just having the diffuser going in their room. It can really make a huge difference for their function.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Here's another recipe that I developed that I call the limonene bomb. And Josie shared at the beginning of the presentation how supportive the citrus oils are for all of our systems. And when I was putting together this presentation, I looked up, I was like, well, what exactly does limonene do? And it's really true. It's supportive of all of the different tendencies that we've talked about. It's been shown to help prevent cellular tendencies, to reduce inflammation, help with appetite regulation, and support healthy stress response. And look at this, it's delicious. Who doesn't want to take their medicine when it's this yummy?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love Louise's shrubs.
And I like to include hope. This is an oil, if you're not familiar with, that smells beautiful, and every penny that you spend on hope goes to support the Healing Hands Foundation and all the good that it does in the world. And it's really important when we're working with chronic disease that being able to offer hope to somebody is really therapeutic and one of the most healing things. And you can offer it through your kind attention and listening and sharing your knowledge about oils. And you could also share this oil with somebody if you feel like they need a lift. It's a beautiful blend.
Yay. All right, so thank you, Louise. And we are now going to go through. We thought we would just show everyone a glimmer of our daily protocols. As Mica likes to say, this is like the scaffolding.
This is my skeleton protocol. This is what I do and a whole lot more. So you can just take a picture of it. Know that there's so much more that I do than just this daily.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, really? Do we just have one slide?
Yeah.
Here's Dr. Rose's. You know, we just wanted to give an idea of the kind of activeness that we do daily in terms of supporting ourself, our pathways, our tendencies to stay incredibly active and vibrant people. And so here's mine. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I do a lot.
Yeah, you do. We all do. So what Josie and I were talking yesterday, and one of the things that I wanted just to say to finish off is that we don't want just to have these protocols to just function. What all this is really about us being our most highest potential and magnificent self, to just flow as much as we can internally and externally. And that's why I do all of this. I don't want the tendency. I have the tendency. I don't want to live there, you know? And so all this that we're doing and all this whole presentation is about allowing you to not have to trudge up the mountain, that you could actually ski down the mountain and have flow and do so much with your life. Whatever you're called to do or whatever your passion is, that's what we need. So just do all this and then do whatever else you're passionate about. Just flow. So this helps me flow. All of this helps me flow and, you know, work out because I love it, and see patients because I love it, and be here because I love it. And so my days are quite long and I'm functioning pretty well.
You are.
And you too, all of you are.
All of us. So we wanted to show you, we are doing what we're calling a community social, where we have a space and we're having people come join us to work on Symphony of the Cells, to give, receive, practice, get guidance, gather, socialize, and in our community, because we want to empower and show people how simple this treatment is and how they can take it home, start to order their own oils, and give this to themselves, have their family members, have them be able to do it on their whole families. So we encourage all of you out there, everyone in your communities, you can just do it at a home, set up 1 or 2 massage tables and have some chairs as well, and have people come over and just start slapping on some oils. Yeah. All righty. So Louise, here you go. If anyone would like to connect with Dr. Rose, we wanted to put up and give a shout out to some of the great programs that she does.
If you don't live in Portland and you're interested in working with me, you can go to teachable.com and search for Yes This Wellness. And I have a couple of online programs where you can learn about cooking things and lifestyle things and mindset.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, everyone, so very much. I know this has been a long webinar, but we just had so much to share with you. So thank you very much. I hope this is helpful, and we really want everyone to be able to use this, study from this, and share and help so many more people. So thank you.
Thank you, ladies, so much. Yes, this is another epic webinar. We love our epic essential wellness webinars. We don't mess around. What I do want to say for all of you tuning in is that we've had an incredible wealth of information shared with us today. And that I, for one, I think I could speak for our entire community, am incredibly grateful to these 3 wise healers that are freely sharing this information with all of you. This is a gift. This is a webinar to keep on file and to refer back to, and know that you have this as a resource and a really important webinar to share, because there are so many people in need of this information. This can truly be life-saving and life-changing information. And I know we've gone long, but I just want to share quickly the reason that I am here is because these essential oils help me work through my illness of Lyme disease, and they've helped me restore my health back to a healthy and happy place after being very, very ill for a long time. And so I personally know how incredibly powerful this medicine is. And these protocols might look a little daunting, but I have to say, of everything that I've done, especially when I was a professional patient taking 40 supplements a day, it is an absolute joy to take these essential oils. You feel the effects from them, you see the changes, but consistent use is necessary. And if you're dealing with something that's really serious, it takes the body some time to heal and unwind from that. And so that daily consistent use is where you're really going to see a difference and really turn chronic issues around. So you can start slow and build up, but it's really an incredible gift to have this roadmap of what a protocol looks like. When I was ill, I didn't have this information, and I had to figure it out on my own and follow my intuition and do a lot of trial and error. So thank you all so much. So moving on to the next slide, and we'll wrap this up. So for those of you that are brand new and are not part of our Essential Wellness community, we invite you to join us. The very best way to do that is to just jump on in and open up your doTERRA wholesale account. It is super easy. And what we recommend that you do is please reach out to the person that invited you to this webinar, and they will give you a personal consult and help you get started in the best way that fits your needs. If you've come to this webinar via Instagram or Facebook and you do not have a connection, then please email us directly at essentialwellness.life and we will get you connected. So thank you all so much. Have a beautiful day, and we'll look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.